Alright, so it's time to be a bit British, isn't it? Well, for this video, we are going to be ranking the top 20 PSAs from the UK. Not going to lie, this list is actually pretty hard to make, as there are a lot of great PSAs from the UK, and it's just really hard to put them all on a list and rank them. But anyways, that's what I have done today after a lot of back and forth thinking of what should be on this list and what shouldn't be on this list. So let's just get into it with a wee cup of tea. Nah, fuck that, cup of tea sucks. I straight up think this is a pretty cool PSA just because it has that twist on the iconic advertisement from Cadbury where the gorilla plays the drums. But this PSA did start airing about 2 years after the iconic advertisement started airing, and I even remember seeing the ad Danny. I don't remember seeing the PSA Danny, but I remember seeing the ad all the time. I honestly don't have too much to say about this PSA as it's just kind of a cool spin to a classic advertisement. But this PSA does get its message across pretty well that gorillas are going to end up going extinct. Also, Cadbury's the best branded chocolate, there's no argument there.
We call it throat cancer. They've come in and removed my voice box. Before we did this, they found out I got lung cancer as well. But the future plans right now are Alexander, my oldest, is coming over here for a holiday December 13th. I will be alive for that.
Call 0800 169 0169.
This PSA is straight up depressing. I feel like this PSA really shows the viewer how much smoking can really affect you and your health. And the saddest part about this is the fact that Anthony died 10 days before her daughter was coming to visit him. I've talked about this PSA before in the past, so I don't really have too much to say about this one, but go watch one of the other videos. It's in one of the other videos where I talked about this PSA. It's just a great one.
A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. Tentivy, 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 a-hunting we will go.
I don't really know what to say, but I kind of like this PSA for how odd it is. It's just so odd and bizarre, but I kind of like that in a weird way. Usually I don't like really bizarre and weird PSAs, but this one kind of works for me. Maybe because it actually is a solid message since a lot of people still hunt foxes in the UK, even though it's illegal to. So I think this PSA deserves this spot on this list, as I do really like it and it does have a solid message. And yes, I really do like the imagery, so that definitely helps.
The game in the next 30 seconds is to guess which one of these houses have people at home and which ones don't. House number 1, in or out? House number 2, what do you think? And what about number 3? Made up your mind yet? In fact, they're all empty. But if you were a burglar, which one would you think was your safest bet? If you want to keep them out, make them think you're in. Crime. Together, we'll crack it.
That was a public information film.
Another one that's quite cool? Yeah, it is. This PSA just really gives me the vibes of 90s television. But honestly, this PSA does give out good advice to the viewers that you should keep your lights on to make it seem like you're in the house, even if you aren't. I like the style of this PSA, even though it may be dated to some people, I'm just really nostalgic for that kind of 90s TV vibe, so personally, I really like it. And it definitely does help that this PSA does have a good message.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin, mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
This PSA is just really interesting to see how dangerous fire really is. It definitely gets your attention as the whole room goes on fire in a matter of a minute. It's just a good PSA because it has a very straightforward message and shows you just up front that fire can be so dangerous. It's just a very solid PSA that has a very solid message, and I don't feel like I have much to say about this one.
Elena didn't think anyone would hurt her. Elena trusted everyone. Maria doesn't trust anyone. Elena wanted to learn English. Maria gets beaten if she says no. Elena worked in a market to support her family. Maria works for nothing. Elena wanted to help people and be a nurse. Maria services up to 40 men a day. Elena used to cry when her father was cross with her. Maria doesn't feel anything anymore. Elena's family thinks she's dead. Help me. I was Elena. I am Maria. Help me. I'm here.
Damn, this PSA is disturbing. But it's quite realistic for people that are sex trafficked, even though it is a really disturbing thing to think of, but it does unfortunately happen. The only thing I would say about this PSA is that I hope it aired after 9 PM, as it would scare the shit out of a lot of children if they saw this PSA. I know personally I would be scared fucking shitless if I saw this PSA when I was younger, but even then it is still a very solid PSA.
New scooter.
Oh yeah?
You know those ones where...
Oh, hold on. Better get this, buddy. Hello, Martin. Wasn't expecting to hear from you today. Wasn't Steve supposed to be sorting that out on Friday? Okay, right. No, it's not a problem.
Alice is one of thousands of St John Ambulance volunteers. She's fully trained in first aid and knows what to do in any situation.
Say something, buddy.
She can be the difference between life and death. But what she can't do is be there every time.
Briefly.
Yeah, the twist ending kind of actually makes this PSA, as it's actually a good twist ending. Twist endings are usually very lazy, as they just come out of nowhere or they make absolutely no sense in the context of what you're watching. But with this PSA, it does actually make perfect sense, so I really think this twist ending is a good twist ending, and it really does serve the message of the PSA. And on top of that, it is actually quite a good message to tell people that they should be trained in first aid, so in case something does happen, you know actually what to do when someone's in an accident. I don't feel like I really have much else to say, as this PSA really speaks for itself. I think the way this PSA shows the viewer about how bad fox hunting is really cool. Quite a unique way to actually do it, and the fact that they actually show real foxes that are like full on mutilated and ripped apart is really disturbing. Honestly, it's just a really solid PSA, as it really builds on the tension until the end where you see the foxes ripped apart and stuff like that, with good use of audio. And by the audio, I mean like the heavy breathing and the sudden noises in the background. It isn't too loud either, like a lot of other like horror movies and stuff like that, they just have the fucking jump scare shit. I hate that. Also, the fact that fox hunting is illegal in the UK and a lot of people still do it is quite disgusting.
Hey, good work today.
See you.
Tomorrow.
Night. Sweetheart. Oh, you're here. You're hurt. Here.
How was he today? Your leading man?
Oh, gentle heart,
How did
please.
it feel? Did it feel real?
It's my job. Sorry, we didn't agree to that. That wasn't in the script.
Oh.
Please, I didn't agree to this.
This one is quite an interesting way to approach this idea. Funny how this PSA got taken off the air because of one dumbass company that thought that this PSA was going to be offensive to some viewers. But this PSA does have a really good depiction of domestic violence overall. It's yet another PSA that has a great build up until you see the end where the woman ends up getting abused by her partner. I talked about this PSA before in the most controversial PSAs, but it's just a really damn solid PSA with quite a unique way of actually showing domestic violence.
catch you out again, have they? You worthless little cow.
Come on in.
I can't read.
Check the sleep.
I don't know what it says, all right?
You okay? Here, 20 quid. You worthless little cow.
I can't read. I don't know what it says.
Here, 20 quid. Worthless little cow.
I don't know what it says.
Here, 20 quid. Worthless.
It says
20 quid. Worthless. 20 quid. 20
Hey yo, another controversial PSA that made it onto this list. Yeah, well, this one deserves to be here. Yeah, I did talk about this PSA in my most controversial PSAs video, but this PSA just gets its message across in a very well done way. They get across the fact that this is usually the cycle of abuse and drug abuse, and that Barnardo's actually wants to break that cycle and help people out. Very well done.
Make your plan. Get out alive.
I'm going to say this because I feel like no one's brave enough to say this, but this PSA is kind of overrated. It's still a good PSA, hence why this made it onto the list, but it's just people praise this as like the best PSA ever, and I don't think so. Like, hey, the message of this PSA is great, but I think some of the scenarios in this PSA are just a bit ridiculous and a bit unrealistic. First off, why wouldn't the woman break the window? And second, why would that guy have a bike in his hallway? It's just a big question I have in my head. Honestly, the start of this PSA is the saddest part, as the brother and sister are sitting in their room with no one to help them. I think this is an awesome PSA. I feel like this PSA really captures how people feel with their mental struggles, and I really like it because of that. I talked about this one a few times, but damn, I just love the direction they took with this PSA, and it really accurately represents how people feel with their mental struggles. And it's definitely a unique PSA, but that's what catches your attention because it's so unique to other PSAs.
What are you drinking? Same again?
Yeah.
No, not for me.
What?
I'm driving.
You won't get pulled. Not on a Sunday.
Get me a half.
Half is what girls drink. What's the problem here?
I've got to get down my mum's for dinner.
Oh, his mum's for dinner. Mummy's boy. Come on, Dave. Just one more.
All right, then get me a pint.
Come on, Dave. Just one more.
Such a memorable PSA, to be honest. I can nearly quote this whole PSA, but damn, it's effective. It doesn't even have to show the imagery of the car crash itself, it just shows the future of what Dave has to deal with after drinking and driving. Just such a well done PSA, and it shows you don't have to show really gory and disturbing imagery to get across your message. And that's probably why I like this PSA so much, because it's so simplistic.
anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there?
Yeah, I think this PSA is better than Scream. Such an awesome PSA, even though it does take inspiration from Nightmare on Elm Street where Freddy Krueger's coming through the wall. And since this PSA came out 2 years after A Nightmare on Elm Street, it is a bit of a coincidence. But the actual inspiration for this PSA is Pink Floyd's The Wall, where this PSA is titled after one of the songs in the album, and it actually features that song in this PSA. Also, the fact that the movie had the man screaming through the wall was probably a massive inspiration for this PSA. But what do I think? I think it's an inspiration of both. I feel like what they've done is they've taken the famous imagery from the Wall movie in 1982 and taken that famous scene from Nightmare on Elm Street and just put it together. Either way, I still really think this PSA really portrays how it feels to go through mental struggles without reaching for help.
Who can tell me? Hands up. 9 times 8. Sally, do you know the answer? Shush.
Do you want to come round my house after school?
Nah.
Sally, you're not eating again. What's wrong?
I'm fine. Can I go now?
Yeah, this one makes my skin crawl. Simple as that. But that's kind of a good thing, as this PSA doesn't shy away from the topic at hand. Also, as you all know, I probably hate child abuse PSAs the most, as they affect me in a way no other PSAs do. I've talked about this PSA a few times, but damn is it effective. It really shows how abused children feel pressured to not say anything about their abuse and what they're going through. One I actually haven't talked about in a while, but damn, this PSA is really good. The imagery alone is amazing, and even though this PSA copied the TAC PSA called Haunted from 2005, it's still a good PSA. Which honestly, I think the TAC PSA is more effective as you see more emotion out of the main character compared to this one. I'm not trying to put this PSA down, as it is a great PSA, but I feel like if there was a bit more of a performance in the main actor, it would have been even better, which the TAC PSA Haunted did better.
Smash your face against that cot if you don't stop your screaming no!
Come and sit over here.
You're brainless, you're stupid, you're no child of mine!
Mummy, where are you? I don't like being on my own.
Not a word to anyone. This is going to be our little secret.
Sometimes we can't bear to look either, but cruelty to children can be stopped, and with your help, it can be stopped forever. Please support the NSPCC's new Full Stop campaign.
Straight up, this is probably one of the most depressing PSAs in my opinion, and I try to repress this shit, but I can't. It just hits me in a way no other PSAs do at all. It isn't the best PSA, but damn it's disturbing and it makes my fucking skin crawl. I try to avoid watching this PSA as I do find it disturbing. And yeah, as I said before, this is the one PSA that just really gets me, as you just hear everything that's going on. You don't see it, you just hear everything that's going on. But you see images of characters or celebrities covering their eyes, as hence the point of the PSA, like don't look, they don't want to look at what's happening. And yeah, I'm sure as fuck I don't want to look at this. Donald Pleasance makes this PSA. I don't care what any of you say about this PSA, but without Donald Pleasance's voice, this PSA would not be near as memorable or near as good. But Donald Pleasance really embodies the Grim Reaper, and I fucking love it. Like honestly, it would only be a solid PSA if it wasn't for his voice, and I just love his deep voice as the Grim Reaper. It just works so well. Like hey, I could go on about Donald Pleasance all fucking day, but this PSA still does have a solid message, and I feel like it gets it across in a very solid way. But yeah, honestly, without Donald Pleasance, this wouldn't be as good. Also, yeah, some of you might not agree with me putting this one up so high, but I just love this PSA, and honestly, it is just so iconic.
There's just a huge void and there's nothing to fill it. Nothing at all.
The driver had been drinking and just smashed his car into the back of Michelle's car, and she died of head injuries.
Oh, she was lovely. She was full of energy, full of enthusiasm. Even if I could just hold her hand for 5 minutes, or tell her again how much I love her, or just touch her hair, I would give the world for that.
Holy shit, this is a really upsetting and depressing PSA. I honestly feel like this PSA is really slept on, and I have talked about this one a few times, but it's just so realistic. Like, I love DETR's campaign that they did with these PSAs, but this is the best one out of their whole campaign, as the other ones focus around the people that killed people, like drink driving. But this one's the best, as you really get to see the victim's parents feel upset that their daughter died. You really feel for the parents of this PSA, as their daughter was taken too soon from a drunk driver. I'm glad that this PSA doesn't try to show disturbing imagery, it just focuses on the parents and them discussing the fact that their daughter died in a car crash and how much they miss her. It's quite an emotional PSA, man, but it fucking works.
The little girl, she said to me, what are these things that I can see? Each night when I come home from school, when mama calls me in for tea. Oh, every night a baby dies, and every night her mama cries. What makes those men do what they do to make that person black and blue? Tell me there's a heaven. Tell me that it's true. Tell me there's a reason why I'm seeing what I do. Tell me there's a heaven where all those people go. Tell me
This one doesn't disturb me as much as Don't Look, but I feel like this one gets its message across much better. It's just so simple, the PSA showing text of parents' excuses for how their children got hurt, even though they were abusing their children. It's just quite chilling and sad, as this would actually happen in real life, and if you do this shit, you are the fucking scum of the earth. I don't care what anyone thinks. If you're abusing your children, you're a piece of shit. Like, I really don't have sympathy for people that abuse their children. It is a fucking terrible thing to do. But damn, this PSA hits you in the feels. It's just so sad and depressing, and I think the music adds to this PSA as well. And I think with this PSA, it's the simplicity that makes this one so damn effective for me, and that's why I've put it at the top of this list. So, did you enjoy this video? If you did, make sure to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe if you enjoy my content, as I will be doing something special for 500 subscribers. Also, make sure to comment what you thought about this video, and also any other PSAs you would put on this list instead of the ones I had on here. Please make sure to join my Discord server as well if you want to be notified for new YouTube uploads and to talk to some amazing people from our community. And lastly, please make sure to check out my Patreon, as I am trying to push out as much content for you guys as possible, and I wish to make bigger and better videos in the future. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one.